Have you ever felt like the night goes on forever because your sleep is interrupted over and over to go to the bathroom, and yet relief never fully comes? If you are over 60, pay close attention, because what you are about to discover could be the difference between a full and peaceful life or an old age filled with discomfort, insecurities, and constant visits to the doctor. What you are going to hear today is not just simple advice, it is an urgent warning that could change your destiny. Most men ignore that. With habits that seem harmless, they are waging a silent and ruthless war against their own prostate. Without realizing it, they are feeding the enemy growing inside them, day after day. For more than 15 years, I have witnessed this reality reflected in men across the United States, from New York to Los Angeles and beyond, some trapped in despair, others living with an astonishing vitality. I have seen men arrive at clinics with tired eyes, fed up with being tied to the bathroom, tormented by pain, or, in the most severe cases, unable to empty their bladder, a medical emergency known as acute urinary retention. These are men who ignored the signs their bodies sent them for years, those small alerts that seemed insignificant, but now cry out for attention. And I have also met others, in their 80s or even 90s, walking upright with admirable energy and perfect urinary function, free from that invisible burden that torments so many. How do they achieve this? It is not luck, genetics, or a miracle pill. The difference between suffering and well-being lies in daily habits, in those small decisions we make without thinking, from sunrise to sunset. Today, we are going to break down one by one the 10 most dangerous and common habits that silently but relentlessly inflame the prostate. And I warn you now, number 1, the most harmful of all, is so common, so ingrained in our culture, that you probably practice it without imagining the damage it causes. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night struggling to start urinating? Do you feel that the flow is weak, interrupted, or that your bladder never empties completely? That frustration, that weight that seems never to go away, is not just part of aging. It is a signal, a silent cry from your body asking for help. If this has ever happened to you, type bladder in the comments, because today we are starting a different path. From this moment on, you will understand that prostate enlargement, what medicine calls benign prostatic hyperplasia, is not an inevitable fate, but the result of inflammation that progresses over the years, yet one that you can stop, control, and even reverse. Let's start this countdown with habit number 10, one that seems harmless, even logical, but is actually a silent trap that catches thousands of men every day, drinking too little water. Many older men, convinced that this will prevent them from getting up several times at night, drastically reduce their fluid intake, especially in the evening. They think that less water means less urine, fewer discomforts, fewer interruptions of sleep. But the body does not work with such a simple equation. This habit, which seems so reasonable, is actually one of the most dangerous for your prostate health. When the body does not get enough water, urine becomes dense, thick, and loaded with waste. It is not the clear liquid you imagine, but a concentrated mixture of residues like urea and ammonia, with an acidic pH that acts like a corrosive substance on the bladder. This aggressive urine irritates its inner lining, the bladder mucosa, causing constant inflammation. Remember something essential. The prostate is located just below the bladder, surrounding the urethra, the tube through which urine passes. When the bladder suffers, the prostate suffers too. That inflammation spreads like fire in dry grass, inevitably reaching the prostate tissue, irritating it, inflaming it, making it grow, and gradually reducing its functionality. It is a slow, silent, but devastating process. And the worst part is that many common medications in older men, such as diuretics for blood pressure or some antihistamines for allergies, worsen this scenario, further dehydrating the body. It is like pouring gasoline on an already burning fire. The lymphatic system becomes sluggish. The kidneys work under enormous stress, and toxins that should be eliminated accumulate, affecting the entire urinary system. Over time, this combination of dehydration and toxic buildup ends up visibly inflaming the prostate and worsening all the urinary symptoms that one was trying to avoid. The good news is that the solution is simple, natural, and within everyone's reach: water. Make water your daily companion. It is not about drinking large amounts at once, but about staying hydrated with small sips throughout the day. Always keep a bottle nearby, drink upon waking to recover what was lost during the night, and have a glass between meals. Do not wait until you feel thirsty, because by the time thirst arrives, dehydration has already begun. Learn to read your body. The color of your urine should be clear, almost transparent. If it darkens or has a strong odor, it is a warning signal. Do not fear water, friend, embrace it. It is the most powerful and natural ally. You have to keep your prostate calm, healthy, and free of inflammation. Before continuing, I would love to know something to connect with our community. Which city or country are you watching from? Write it in the comments. I love meeting people who truly care about their health, and it allows me to create content that is more useful and relevant for you and your region. Let's get to the point. Habit number 9, the tyranny of the chair. Yes, that soft and cozy armchair that seems to hug you every afternoon can, without you noticing, become one of your worst enemies. As the years go by, the temptation to sit for hours, watching TV, reading the newspaper, or scrolling on your phone becomes irresistible. But that apparent comfort comes at a silent cost. You are putting constant, destructive pressure on your prostate. Every time you spend too long sitting, especially on hard surfaces or poorly designed chairs, the weight of your body compresses the pelvic area, right between the scrotum and the anus, a key area called the perineum. This is where the blood vessels that supply the prostate pass, carrying oxygen and essential nutrients. Imagine stepping on a garden hose. The water stops flowing, becoming just a drip. The same happens with your pelvic circulation. This lack of flow, known as ischemia, deprives prostate cells of the oxygen they need to stay healthy and repair themselves. Tissue without oxygen becomes inflamed, weak, and vulnerable. Over time, this repeated pressure day after day causes swelling, inflammation, and ultimately prostate enlargement. It is a slow, but cumulative and devastating damage. Studies confirm it. Men with sedentary jobs or lifestyles, drivers, office workers, retirees who spend hours in front of the TV, have a much higher risk of developing prostate enlargement and severe urinary symptoms. But that's not all. Immobility also affects another vital component of the male body, the pelvic floor. This group of muscles acts like a support network that holds the bladder and prostate. When strong, it allows you to control the flow of urine and empty the bladder completely. But when it weakens, the body loses that natural control. Urine becomes trapped, the bladder does not fully empty, and that residue becomes fertile ground for bacteria that cause infections and irritation. This is how a vicious cycle of chronic inflammation and constant discomfort begins. The solution is not to give up rest, but to move wisely. Apply the 30 halves rule. For every 30 minutes you sit, stand up and walk for at least 2 minutes. You don't need to run or exercise intensely. Just stand, take a few steps, stretch your legs, grab a glass of water, the same one you now know is so beneficial, or look out the window while activating your body. This simple gesture breaks the cycle of inactivity, improves circulation, relieves pressure on the prostate, and strengthens the pelvic floor muscles. Don't let the comfort of your chair become a trap that slowly destroys your prostate health. Move, breathe, and always remember, movement is life. Habit number 8, excess caffeine. That first coffee in the morning, with its strong aroma and promise of energy, is for many men an almost sacred ritual. 1 cup may seem harmless, even necessary to start the day. But when that habit turns into multiple cups, accompanied by cola drinks, black tea, or energy beverages, the damage begins to show, especially if the prostate is already sensitive or inflamed. The problem is not the coffee itself, but the quantity and frequency. Caffeine has 2 effects that can become a nightmare for anyone suffering from benign prostatic hyperplasia. The first, it is a natural diuretic, which means it stimulates the kidneys to produce more urine in less time. In a young and healthy body, this does not cause major problems, but in a man with already limited urine flow, this excess production can become a real challenge. The bladder fills too quickly, pressure increases, and the urgency to go to the bathroom becomes constant and overwhelming. The second effect is even more delicate. Caffeine directly irritates the bladder. It acts on the muscle that forms the bladder wall, called the detrusor, forcing it to contract more strongly and more frequently. This hyperactivity generates the sudden need to rush to the bathroom and in many cases causes spasms or even involuntary urine leaks. But the harm does not stop there. Caffeine also affects the bladder neck, the exact point where the bladder joins the urethra. It causes a contraction that narrows this channel, making it difficult to fully empty the bladder. And so a vicious cycle is born. You urinate more, but with increasing difficulty. The bladder never fully empties, urine is retained, and that constant accumulation increases pressure on the prostate, fueling inflammation and accelerating its growth. It is not about giving up this daily pleasure completely, but about learning to moderate it. Observe how your body responds. If you notice that after the second or third cup of coffee you get up more often or feel urgent, that is a clear sign you are crossing the limit. Try this. Replace that second cup with a caffeine-free option, like a relaxing herbal tea, chamomile, lemon balm, or mint, or a good quality decaf coffee. Sometimes, small adjustments to our habits can make a huge difference. Moderation does not mean deprivation, it means protection. And your body will thank you sooner or later. Habit number 7, overconsumption of spicy and ultra-processed foods. Eating is one of life's great pleasures, and in our culture, intense flavors are almost a tradition. But that same intensity, combined with the excesses of modern food, can quietly take its toll. Excess spicy food, like habanero peppers, chili peppers, or extremely hot sauces, not only irritates the mouth or stomach, but also the urinary system. Capsaicin, the compound that gives chili its heat, can be beneficial in small amounts, but when consumed constantly and excessively, it causes generalized inflammation in the body, affecting the prostate and weakening its natural balance. For a man with a sensitive or inflamed prostate, excess spice can be the final trigger, the spark that worsens the burning sensation, urgency, and discomfort when urinating. An occasional spicy dish does not cause major problems, but if your daily meals are dominated by intense flavors, extreme seasonings, and fiery sauces, your prostate could be silently suffering the consequences. However, the most dangerous enemy in this category is not chili, but ultra-processed foods, the true saboteurs of your health. I'm talking about packaged snacks, potato chips, industrial pork rinds, processed meats like ham or sausages, microwave-ready meals, and all that fast food that promises flavor and convenience, but delivers inflammation and harm. These products are not real food. They are chemical formulas designed to be irresistible, addictive, and long-lasting, but poor in nutrients and rich in compounds that trigger inflammation inside your body. They are loaded with preservatives, artificial colors, excessive sodium, and most concerningly, harmful fats like trans fats or refined vegetable oils from corn, soy, and sunflower. These substances disrupt your body's internal balance, raise blood pressure, encourage fluid retention, and put constant stress on the urinary system. They also interfere with male hormones, affecting testosterone levels and stimulating the action of the enzyme 5-alpha reductase, responsible for converting testosterone into dihydrotestosterone, the hormone that directly drives prostate growth. If you open your pantry and see more cans and packaged foods than fresh fruits and vegetables, it is time to rethink your diet. Every processed meal you consume is an extra burden for your prostate. The solution is not to stop enjoying food, but to choose wisely. Fill your plate with life, leafy greens, broccoli, tomatoes rich in lycopene, colorful peppers, and antioxidant fruits like blueberries and pomegranate. Include fatty fish like salmon, which provide omega-3s, and healthy fats from avocado, nuts, and pumpkin seeds, which are a natural source of zinc, an essential mineral to maintain a strong and functional prostate. Eating well doesn't have to be boring or restrictive. It's about nourishing your body instead of inflaming it, giving it what it needs to stay young and vital. Habit number 6, holding in the urge to urinate. We've all done it at some point. You're in the middle of a meeting, stuck in traffic, or completely focused on something and decide to hold it a little longer. It seems harmless, But if it becomes a habit, you are making a serious mistake that silently damages your bladder and, over time, your prostate. Imagine your bladder as an elastic balloon. Its natural function is to fill and, when it reaches a certain pressure, empty forcefully and efficiently. But when you decide to hold your urine again and again, you are forcing that balloon to stretch beyond its limit. Over time, the muscle fibers weaken, just like an old rubber band that has been stretched too many times. A weakened bladder loses the ability to contract strongly enough to empty completely, leaving residual urine and worsening urinary problems. And that's not all. A full bladder exerts direct pressure on the prostate, which sits just beneath it, further contributing to inflammation and that endless cycle of discomfort and urgency. That constant pressure on the prostate doesn't go unnoticed. It irritates it, inflames it, and causes the tissue to swell even more. For older men, whose muscle control has already weakened over the years, this habit of holding urine is especially destructive. But the most concerning part comes afterward. The urine that remains in the bladder after incomplete emptying becomes a silent time bomb. That warm, nutrient-rich liquid is the perfect environment for bacteria to multiply uncontrollably. What should be eliminated instead becomes the source of urinary infections that can turn into cystitis and, worse, ascend to the prostate, causing acute bacterial prostatitis, an extremely painful condition that requires urgent treatment, or chronic prostatitis, which keeps inflammation alive for months or even years. The solution, however, is simple and powerful. Listen to your body. When you feel the need to urinate, do it. Don't postpone it. Don't ignore it. Every time you delay that natural signal, you are working against your prostate health. And if you already experience symptoms like nocturia, the need to get up several times at night to urinate, this advice becomes even more crucial. Going to the bathroom as soon as you feel the urge is not just a convenience. It is one of the most effective strategies to protect your bladder and prostate. Remember, they work as an inseparable duo. When one is under pressure, the other inevitably suffers. Habit number 5, smoking or exposure to secondhand smoke. We all know that tobacco destroys the lungs and heart, but few people are aware of the damage it causes to the prostate. Smoking is, without a doubt, one of the most harmful habits for male health, and the most alarming part is that even non-smokers can suffer the consequences if frequently exposed to other smoke. Cigarette smoke contains over 7,000 chemical substances, including at least 70 known carcinogens. One of the most harmful is cadmium, a heavy metal that accumulates in the prostate and is directly linked to a higher risk of cancer. The main mechanism of damage occurs through the blood. Nicotine and carbon monoxide narrow blood vessels, limiting the flow of oxygen and nutrients reaching the prostate gland. When blood circulation is compromised, the prostate becomes trapped in a state of cellular suffocation. Toxins are not properly eliminated, and the tissue enters a process of chronic inflammation, the perfect environment for abnormal growth. Additionally, smoking triggers a storm of oxidative stress inside the body. It's like accelerating aging from within. Free radicals, unstable molecules generated by smoke, attack healthy cells and damage their DNA. While the body has natural antioxidant defenses, tobacco overwhelms and weakens them. Over time, this accumulated oxidative damage in the prostate causes persistent inflammation, gland enlargement, and, in the most severe cases, mutations that can lead to cancer. In older men, whose cellular repair system already works more slowly, this process accelerates, making every cigarette, whether smoked directly or inhaled secondhand, leave a deep and dangerous mark. If you still smoke, now is the time to make one of the most powerful and transformative decisions for your health. Quit smoking. You don't have to do it alone. Talk to your doctor. There are nicotine replacement therapies, medications, and support programs that really work. The benefits start almost immediately. Within weeks, circulation improves, inflammation decreases, and your prostate begins to regain its natural balance. And if you've never smoked, congratulations. Your mission now is to stay protected from secondhand smoke. Avoid enclosed spaces where others smoke. That small gesture can give you additional years of prostate health and overall vitality. Habit number 4, skipping regular checkups. In our culture, there is still the idea of the strong man, the one who endures everything, who doesn't complain, and only goes to the doctor when the pain becomes unbearable. But that false heroism is actually a silent enemy. Being brave is not ignoring the signals your body sends. Being brave is taking care of yourself before it's too late. Prostate enlargement often progresses without warning. It is a treacherous and silent process. For years, it may show no clear symptoms, and when symptoms finally appear, weak stream, incomplete emptying, getting up multiple times at night, the problem may already be at an advanced stage. That is why regular urological checkups are so essential. They are your radar, your early detection system. They allow you to discover what does not yet hurt but could become a serious problem. I remember the case of John, a 62-year-old man, strong, hardworking, proud of not needing doctors. He got up once or twice a night to urinate and simply attributed it to age. Over time, his stream became weaker and the sensation of incomplete emptying more frequent. He never spoke about it, not even with his wife, until she, worried, practically forced him to see a doctor. When I examined him, his condition was already critical. He suffered from acute urinary retention, an extremely painful condition in which the bladder is so full it risks bursting, but urine cannot pass due to the pressure from the enlarged prostate. Immediate intervention with a catheter was required. All of this could have been prevented with a simple prostate-specific antigen test and a rectal exam a few years earlier. What could have been resolved with simple dietary and lifestyle adjustments ended up requiring an invasive procedure and a long recovery process. His story leaves us with a clear lesson. Prevention is not optional. It is essential. A digital rectal exam and a prostate-specific antigen test are quick, painless procedures that can save your life, or at least maintain your quality of life. Delaying them out of fear or embarrassment only steals your options. The earlier inflammation or abnormal growth is detected, the easier it is to treat with natural, less aggressive methods. So don't wait for symptoms to control your daily life. Schedule an annual appointment with your doctor or urologist. Don't see it as a sign of weakness, but as a display of intelligence and self-care. Taking care of yourself is the strongest way to live fully. Habit number 3, excessive red meat consumption. A good cut of grilled steak is part of our tradition, those moments that bring together family, friends, and enjoyment. But when red meat becomes a daily presence on your plate, that pleasure can quietly turn into a risk. Science is clear. High consumption of red and processed meats, bacon, sausages, and deli meats is linked to increased inflammation throughout the body, including the prostate. The culprits are saturated fats and chemical compounds formed during processing or high-temperature cooking. When you grill or fry meat until browned, substances like heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons are produced, both recognized for their carcinogenic potential. Additionally, red meat contains arachidonic acid, which the body converts into inflammatory mediators. Altogether, this keeps your body in a state of chronic stress and inflammation. And if we add that digestion slows down with age, meat takes longer to process, putting pressure on the abdomen and pelvic area, right where the prostate sits. This isn't about giving up your Sunday barbecue, but about finding an intelligent balance. Reduce red meat to once or twice a week and alternate with lean or anti-inflammatory proteins. Fish, especially salmon, mackerel, or sardines, is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, powerful natural protectors of the prostate. You can also choose oven-roasted or grilled chicken or turkey. And don't forget the power of legumes. Lentils, beans, and chickpeas can become delicious and nutritious allies. These small changes will not only relieve your prostate, but also strengthen your heart, digestion, and daily energy. In the end, your body will respond with less inflammation, better urinary flow, and more vitality. Habit number 2, ignoring abdominal fat. That belly that appears with age, often called a beer belly, is much more than an aesthetic issue. It is a warning sign. The visceral fat that accumulates around the abdomen is not passive. It is active tissue that releases inflammatory chemicals like tumor necrosis factor alpha and interleukin 6, which circulate through your blood, silently attacking your organs, including the prostate. The prostate, highly sensitive to inflammatory processes, suffers from this attack. Constant inflammation stimulates its growth and worsens urinary problems. Numerous studies show that men with excess abdominal fat have a higher risk of prostate enlargement, frequent nighttime urination, and even erectile dysfunction. But there is an even subtler enemy: hormonal imbalance. Fat tissue contains an enzyme called aromatase, which converts testosterone into estrogen. The more abdominal fat you accumulate, the faster this conversion occurs, reducing your testosterone, the hormone of vitality and male strength, and increasing estrogen. This shift disrupts your body's balance and creates a perfect environment for the prostate to continue growing. Controlling weight is not about vanity. It's about restoring your hormonal balance, energy, and prostate health. Moving more, eating better, and reducing abdominal fat is one of the most powerful decisions you can make for yourself. Your body will thank you every day. That hormonal imbalance caused by abdominal fat does more than alter your hormones. It literally crushes your pelvic organs. Imagine carrying an extra 10 to 20 pounds every day right over your lower abdomen. That constant pressure squeezes your bladder and prostate 24 hours a day, intensifying urgency, weak flow, and that persistent discomfort that seems never-ending. But you don't need extreme punishments or impossible diets. The key is consistency. Small steps that become lasting habits. Start by swapping white bread for whole grain, reducing added sugars and soda, serving smaller portions, and committing to a daily 30-minute walk. You'll be surprised at how quickly your body responds. Even losing just a few pounds can relieve pelvic pressure and improve urinary function. Remember, keeping your waist below 40 inches is not a matter of aesthetics. It is a health decision, a direct investment in your prostate well-being and your overall quality of life. Habit number 1, not knowing how to manage chronic stress. And now we arrive at the most treacherous of all: stress, the silent enemy that consumes your energy, your mind, and even your prostate. It is invisible, yet its impact is devastating. If you live constantly worried, anxious, or under pressure, your body enters a continuous survival mode. The adrenal glands release cortisol, the stress hormone, day after day. In the short term, cortisol keeps you alert, but when it remains elevated for weeks or months, it slowly poisons your body. It causes widespread inflammation, tightens the pelvic floor muscles, reduces blood flow, and affects the nerves surrounding the prostate. This perpetual state can lead to chronic prostatitis, or the dreaded chronic pelvic pain syndrome, which mimics or worsens the symptoms of benign prostatic hyperplasia. Excess cortisol also weakens your immune system, preventing your body from effectively fighting inflammation and infections. And let's not forget the emotional weight: financial uncertainty, family problems, personal or loved ones' illnesses. Each of these emotional burdens translates into real physical tension, more urgency to urinate, more pain, more inflammation. But here comes the good news, my friend. Stress can be managed. And when you do, you not only regain mental calm, but also restore peace to your prostate. Your power lies in controlling stress and your daily choices. Unlike many other factors, stress is completely under your control. You don't need medications or extreme solutions. It is enough to cultivate simple, consistent habits that return calm to your mind and balance to your body. Try this. Breathe deeply. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale through your mouth for 6 seconds. Do this for just 5 minutes and feel your body relax. Go for a walk. Surround yourself with nature. Disconnect from screens and the noise of the world for at least 10 minutes a day. Laugh more, share moments with loved ones, and prioritize deep, restorative sleep. These small actions are real natural medicines for your nervous system and your prostate. Managing stress not only improves your mind, it heals your body from the inside. It reduces inflammation, balances your hormones, and can even slow prostate growth. It is undoubtedly one of the most powerful decisions you can make today. Your body is asking you for change. Now that you know the 10 habits that slowly worsen prostate health, the question is direct. What are you going to change starting today? This is not about minimal gestures or empty promises. It is about committing to real actions that can save you months, even years, of discomfort, sleepless nights, and unnecessary treatments. If you are over 60, this is your moment to act. Don't wait for symptoms to become unbearable. Start small, but start today. Drink 1.5 liters of water a day. Stand up every 30 minutes if you spend a lot of time sitting. Replace red meat with fish once or twice a week. Every healthy choice is a vote for your well-being, a step toward a fuller, pain-free life. Recovery doesn't happen overnight, but consistency and self-respect have immense power. Remember, it is never too late to rewrite your health story. Take care of your prostate. Take care of your quality of life. If this message has inspired you, join our community. Subscribe, share this video with someone who needs it, and leave in the comments which habit you will change today. Because taking care of your prostate is taking care of your future.